Hello, this is Harley Greninger with Premier Realty Grace Harbor, and today I'm going to talk about a buyer's first step. We frequently get asked the question, especially from first-time home buyers, what exactly should I do when beginning my house hunt? Should I just open up the browser and surf the net and look for what we're looking for on the net? Maybe drive by some of the properties and get a feel for neighborhoods, or should we maybe start our search with a lender and get pre-qualified and start the loan process, or should we speak with a real estate professional? Maybe they can kind of start the house hunt for us and steer us in a good direction. And actually the answer is yes. And I know that's kind of humorous, but there's an old Russian proverb that says all work is good work. And regardless of where a first-time home buyer starts the process, or any buyer for that matter, they all have their advantages and disadvantages. For example, surfing the net, and there's nothing destructive about that. There's nothing that you can do to really harm yourself in that process. Driving by homes is going to give you a feel for market values, and so there's pluses and minuses for each one. So you get a feel for the market, feel for the neighborhood you want to get into, and places where you may not want to be in. You maybe too far away from schools or churches, or near shopping malls and things like that. Whatever it is that you're looking for, you're going to be able to better narrow it down by starting the house hunt immediately. Of course, the disadvantage to that is that you go out and find the perfect home, and you just go, oh, I've fallen in love. This is the house of my dreams. It has the view, it has the yard, it has everything we're looking for in a home, and it's $250,000. So let's rush over to the lender, and only to find out that you're only approved up to, say, $200,000. And it's like, well, can we make them an offer of $200,000? You can, but probably it's an exercise in futility. Kind of depends on the market conditions and how motivated the seller might be. But generally speaking, most sellers, it's just too far away from their asking price to really make a go of it. So you ask yourself the question, well, maybe I should have started with a lender. And certainly there are great advantages to starting the house hunt with a reputable lender. The first advantage is that once you get pre-approved, now you know exactly what price range to start your search in. And not to say that, if you're approved up to $200,000, not to say you have to go out and buy a house priced at $200,000. A lot of people, they say, I'm approved up to $200,000, but I just want to purchase something around $150,000. Just to keep my payments, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's admirable to live beneath your means. But at least you have a pre-approval letter, and now you can, with confidence, search in your price range. You certainly can do that, and like I said, it's a great place to start. And I must say, every real estate agent's dream is to have a buyer that has already gone in for the pre-approval process. They have a pre-approval letter from a reputable lender that they're approved to purchase up to $200,000. That takes a lot of the guesswork out of my job as a real estate professional. I know that you can purchase it. I know your price range, and I know you're going to purchase. It kind of puts you head and shoulders above. In our profession, we call them the looky-loos. Those are the people that just like to go through houses and check out, for whatever reason, something that they certainly couldn't afford, or something that, is just a pipe dream. But so you come in to me with a pre-approval letter, I know that you're going to buy a house. And so my time spent with you, I know, will not be wasted time for me or you. And of course, the disadvantage with going to a lender, and sometimes the lender will not approve you. And so you give up the hunt. Well, that a lot of times that's a mistake, because not all lenders are created equal. In fact, I just had a friend just recently, actually. He looked me up after years, and I haven't spoken to him in years, but an old friend looked me up, said he was pre-approved to purchase, and it was like up to $225,000 or something like that. And he said, but now we're saving up our down payment funds. I said, oh, okay. What kind of a loan program are you going in for? And they said FHA. And so FHA, the minimum down payment requirement today is 3.5%. And they said that, we just need to save another $3,000 or $4,000, and we're going to be ready to make our purchase. And so I asked them, I said, well, how about the Washington Bond Program? See, in Washington State, the Washington Housing Commission has a zero interest loan for down payment assistance for borrowers. And they said, we don't even know about that. And so I got on the phone with their lender, and sure enough, their lender, they don't do the Washington Bond Program. They don't have that loan program. And so I gave them a list of local lenders who do have the program, and they were approved and started the house hunt that very day. And so you say, well, maybe I should have started my search with a real estate professional. And certainly that's, again, admirable. And after just asking you just 3 questions, I can pretty much give you an idea of which lenders are going to best work for you. And this is especially in those circumstances where the loan may not be the ideal loan. You may not be, that angel coming down from the stairway from heaven into the loan officer's office to apply for a loan. And that's for most people, it's like their credit scores are maybe not the strongest, or maybe they haven't saved up quite enough for a down payment, or maybe their work history is a little spotty, but after just a short interview with the purchaser, I can give them a list of lenders who are going to best work in that loan environment. And so that's, once again, a really good way to start the entire process. And but getting pre-approved at some point in the process is highly recommended. In fact, I recommend to purchasers, you never want to place an offer on a home without a pre-approval letter attached to the offer. And you might say, well, why? I can just make the offer and make it subject to that coming in later. The reason is this: because if you have a pre-approval letter from a reputable lender, it virtually makes you a cash buyer, at least in the eyes of the seller, because it's cash equivalent to them. Whether you have the money sitting in the bank or you have the money basically earmarked from a pre-approval letter from a lending institution, you're going to have a lot stronger offer. Your offer is going to be a lot stronger to begin with. Plus, it's going to give you put you in a better position to negotiate the price and terms with the seller. And in fact, I have seen, as a listing agent, let's say I have 2 offers, presenting them to the seller, maybe both of them are full price. Everything's essentially the same, but this one here has a pre-approval letter and this one here doesn't. Guess which one the seller accepts? They don't want to accept a maybe. They don't want to, it's a perhaps. We really love your home, but we may be able to, afford it. Whereas this one says, the lender says, we already have approved them. So always get a pre-approval letter prior to making an offer on a home. That's one of the first things you want to do. And understand the difference between a pre-qualification letter and a pre-approval letter, because they're not the same thing. They're similar because a pre-qualification letter would basically say, I interviewed these borrowers and it would seem that everything is in order. It would seem that their debt to income ratios are in order, and their work history is going to fit the ticket, and And, everything that they've told me fits the criteria. But a loan approval letter actually goes one step further. And they actually pull credit to make sure, number one, that the credit scores are within their underwriting guidelines. Very important, especially in today's market and today's lending environment. But also, any potential red flags on the credit report, they can start the process of eliminating them or explaining them. And that's important too. I mean, sometimes there's a judgment, or an old collection or something from like 12 years ago on a borrower's credit report. I don't know how long it stays on, but I've seen some really old stuff sitting there on their credit reports, and it gives them an opportunity to start. You say, hey, I paid that off years ago, and they can actually get that eliminated from their credit report, and thereby gain a stronger credit rating as well. So also, a lot of lenders will actually get their documentation in order. They'll do a confirmation of deposits, making sure that the borrower actually does have enough funds to make the purchase at that loan amount. Some of them actually go in and verify their work to make sure that their employment fits exactly what they've said, and so they do all the verifications and verification of rental history if that would be applicable. But all of those things are going to be taking place at some point in the process, but you may as well get them done as early as possible. So a question is asked, well, I went to a lender and they didn't approve me. They rejected my loan application. What to do in that scenario? Well, one is that you can start to repair the issue. So if it was credit related, you can start trying to repair your credit or build your credit. If it's your work history, you're not on the job long enough, well, maybe you just have to put in a few more months or whatever to get your work history in alignment. Maybe you don't have quite the funds saved to make the purchase of what loan program you're going to be approved for. And so that's a possibility, but don't give up hope. If you have been disapproved by a lender, talk to a real estate professional. The nice thing about talking to a real estate professional is that I've been in this market now for approximately 20 years in Grays Harbor County, and so I pretty much know all the lenders. I have at one time or another worked with every single lender or lending institution in Grays Harbor County. And so when you come to me, or somebody like me, it doesn't have to be me, but if you come to somebody like me who has been in the market a long time and has worked with all the lenders, we may be able to point you in a good direction for you. And also, if you, it's like, like I have an old client that came to me, and it's like he had some bad credit, and it was actually from a couple of years back. Some horrible things happened. It was due to a divorce or something, but he had a lot of money saved. And so the nice thing is that we could say, hey, here's a property over here that the owner will finance, and that's another option for someone who can't get approved today. And then also lease purchases. So we do quite a few, lease purchases where people can't get approved today, but they have a plan and they have found a home that they want. And so they come in initially as a tenant, that's true, but they have a purchase option at some point in the future that they can exercise when they can credit qualify or otherwise qualify to purchase. So this is it for Harley Greninger today, and if you need to contact me at our website, www.prgraysharbor.com, or you can reach me via phone, 360-533-1900. Thanks a lot for your time.